Hello everybody, my name's Andy and I'm an avid language learner, and I just wanted to try out a live streaming video. I'm very interested in learning languages, and I'm interested in finding out what languages you find difficult to learn or easy to learn. In my experience, I've found Chinese relatively easy to learn. I don't know why. I mean, people say it's a difficult language, and it is when you first set out to learn it, because you have to learn about the tones. You know, each character in Chinese language has a tone, and there are 4 tones. Well, there are 5 actually. There's also a neutral tone. And some people have said that Chinese is the most difficult language to learn. Well, I don't think there is a most difficult language. It depends what your native language is and what you're learning, what you already know language-wise. So, for example, if you're French and you're learning Italian or another Romance language, you'll probably find it a bit easier to learn because there'll be lots of loan words between the 2 languages. And likewise, say if you're Dutch and you're learning German, you'll probably find that easier. But why have I found Chinese so easy to learn? Well, I'm not really a lover of grammar as such, even though I have studied quite a number of languages. I still I'm not really into grammar as such. I'm not into learning about grammar. I find it a bit tedious and a bit boring. And I like to just do a lot of listening when I first start learning languages. So perhaps it's because I'm a musician. I play the recorder and a few other instruments, and I've got a good ear for language. I'm not necessarily a pedant for language in terms of knowing about the grammar details and the detailed sort of conjugations of verbs and things like this. So I think because I've got a good ear, I can probably hear the tones in Chinese probably more distinctively than maybe other people. I don't know. So that's another question I need to ask: is being a musician an advantage when it comes to learning languages? So let me just see. I hope I've got my chat set up right. This is the first time I've ever done a live stream. I don't even know who's here and who's watching. Haha. Okay. I don't know what I've done, but I think the chat is enabled now. It's all new to me anyway. This is really like a test video anyway. I'm trying to see how I can work the live stream video. So, the sound is off. This is really like a test video anyway. I'm trying to see how I can work the live stream video. Okay, I'm hearing myself on live stream now, so something's working. I think I'm on air. I don't know how many people are watching, probably nobody. Who cares? Doesn't matter. It's just a test. It's only a 5-minute video, and if this works well, then I will be doing some live streaming, because I think this is the way to that people want some live streaming videos. I'm not sure. I think they're quite popular. I mean, I watch quite a few myself. I watch Richard Simcott with his live polyglots video, and I watch some of the sort of hints and tips type videos on YouTube. I think they're quite interesting. So I'll carry on talking. So the Chinese language, for me, I've been learning it for 18 months, and I find the language quite easy from the point of view that the grammar is very simple. So, for example, when you learn a verb in Chinese, you just learn one word, and that's it. You don't need to learn any other words to do with that verb. So, for example, let's say the word for drink, which is he. So if I say I drink, I say 我喝. You drink 你喝. We drink 我们喝. Let's go for a drink. 让我们吃喝一点东西. So 喝 as a word stays the same pronunciation, the same conjugation, the same spelling. It's just that one character of that never ever changes. So in some languages, when you talk in the past or future, you change the time. You also need to change the verb. So, like for example, in English, you'd say I drank something rather than I'm drinking. And there are so many different conjugations of that verb in most languages. But in Chinese, you would just say literally, yesterday I drink. So you'd say 昨天我喝一点东西. So that will be the same word again, but you set in the context by saying that it's yesterday, which is in the past. So this is what I love about Chinese. It's quite a simple language, and the grammar is quite simple for me. Most sentence structures are similar to English. So it's English is subject, verb, object. I think I don't actually know. I think it's subject, verb, object. Like I walk along the road. Yeah, for example. So it's similar in Chinese. There are some differences in Chinese. For example, when you give a time or a date, then that tends to go to the front of the sentence. So, for example, if I said I went for a walk yesterday, I would say 我昨天走路.我昨天走路. So 我 is I, 昨天 is yesterday, 走路 is walking. So I yesterday walk. That's different than in English, but it never changes. So you always know that the subject, which is I, usually comes to the front of the sentence, and then the time frame, and then the action at the end. So another simplest, it's another simple thing about Chinese. I think Chinese is a funny language. We have words that are made up of other words. So not all words are one-syllable words. So, for example, the word for a cat is mao, and the word for a bear is xiong. So the word for cat is mao, and the word for bear is xiong, and the word for a panda is jiong mao. So it's like bear cat, or da xiong mao, big bear cat for a big panda. So that's quite funny, but it makes it easy to remember actually. So if you're learning the word for panda, xiong mao, then you've already learned another two words, which is cat and bear. Another funny one is that penguin is a business duck. That's quite funny. And there are lots of examples like that in Chinese. So going back to the tones, the four tones are high level tone, a rising tone, a falling tone, and a down and up tone. I'm not sure which one's number 1, 2, 3, and 4. I know the high one, number 1, is number 1. I think the falling tone is number 2, and the up and down is 3, and the rising is 4, maybe. Someone will probably correct me on this, I'm sure. So, with the... oh, hang on, someone's coming in. What? I haven't finished it yet. Someone's trying to give me a glass of wine here.
Oh.
What?
That's not what we've done. You ain't seen what we've seen.
Oh. 我喝葡萄酒. 他是我的爱人. I better go actually because I think he needs something.